When you're thinking through the 2026 IPO market, do you think, at the end of the day, Gene, it's going to be even stronger than 2025? And what are the puts and takes? What are the variables that depends on?
Yeah, I do think it is going to be stronger in 2026 and 2025. We expect that the biggest IPO, venture-backed IPO of all time will happen in 2026. The last one was Facebook, is the largest of all time at 104 billion in 2012. So that's more than a decade ago. But I think when you're looking at, we have a unicorn board with 1,600 companies valued above a billion. The board went up in the last year in more than 2 trillion. You have SpaceX now valued at 800 billion. You have OpenAI second at 500 billion. So massive, massive valuation increases that we've seen on the private side. And I think so many of those companies have been reading over the last 3 years have been a much slower. 2025, we did see IPOs pick up a little bit, and I think it was really gearing up to 2026. So even though the markets have been quite unstable, there is this concern around how SaaS is being transformed by AI. Nonetheless, there are a lot of companies who have significant revenue, and some are seeing some reacceleration with this AI story, as SpaceX would be one of those. And so I think we are going to have probably more towards the latter half of 2026, we are going to see a pickup in the IPO markets this year, despite all the turbulence we saw in the last week.
If you saw a mega IPO like that, Gene, this year, let's say Elon Musk really did bring SpaceX public, what would that mean for the broader IPO market? Or does it mean anything, Gene? Or is, on the other hand, is SpaceX just sort of, it's a kind of one company?
Yeah, I think SpaceX is a one of one that they could go out in any market. They have revenue in the billions. They're profitable. Starlink is their most profitable product. They've now merged and brought XAAI on board, which is obviously going to be a growing concern as well in competing with OpenAI, Anthropic, and Gemini. So I think SpaceX is one of a kind, but I think what the market is looking for is one of those very high value companies to go out. And that will, in a sense, create some energy and enthusiasm around the market, but I don't think it changes the overall picture. And we're seeing this on the private market side where it's highly competitive. Who are the companies that are leading today? Their revenue is no longer baked in that they're going to be the leading companies in 5 to 10 years. I think there's lots of questions around all those SaaS companies. And so even though SpaceX can go out and there will be excitement, I think there are a number of others. Databricks would be another one. I still think the market is going to look at companies very differently. And, I looked at the Bessemer Venture Index looking at companies growing in the cloud space, and, growth rates are not very high across the board. So even there, though there is this AI story, a lot of these companies have not necessarily seen this reacceleration. And will they, or will they be taken over by other private companies, I guess is the question. And so that's, I think, being factored in.